bottom, it's normally the story that comes with that. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you just remember some good shit. Welcome to the Brothas of BOTB podcast.
People, y'all know what time it is, man. It's your boy Jay Walking the Third, and my brother, my co-host, my partner, them Carolina Dirt 803. What's happening?
Shit, Facts on Friday. I know how we get down. Facts on Friday. We about to have a dope episode. Dope.
Man, it's a conversation that needs to be had. You know what I'm saying? It's a conversation that most people are having in the barbershop, on the basketball court, wherever they might be. Why even wait or hesitate, man? We got some returning guests. Both of them dope individuals. The first one up is C. Hess of Motivated Minds. Y'all check him out on YouTube, man. A lot of dope content, a lot of thought-provoking content, man. It's more than one way to look at something, and he the man to give you perspective. So what's going on, C. Hess?
Nothing, man. Hey, just working, man. As a matter of fact, right before I came on, man, I was actually working on another video talking about the whole Tyree Nichols thing. So jokers might be mad, man, but I just kind of explained some stuff about this whole Scorpion unit and about the police, the chief of police, just talking about it, man, from another perspective that people might not look at.
Well, okay, that's what we're here for. We're here for that kind of talk tonight. That's what Facts on Friday is about. Just hold tight for a minute. We got a second guest, returning guest, Ryan of the Bars Open podcast. Yeah, man, he's a just general all-around character, man, and a friend to the podcast. So, what goes on with you, brother?
Oh, man, I can't call it. I'm ready to get into it because I got some thoughts. It's living in America, 2023, just like it was in, 1883, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
So,
well, I know you would have some perspective. You got that D hat on, cuz. Big shout out to the D. I got some people out there, man. I fuck with them a long way. I love them dearly. And y'all know how we do this, man. We're going to go ahead and get right to it. We're going to do this first call thing. That boy in that larceny, he over there committing crimes and stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the first call, man. Y'all know first call is going to be 10 quick questions. I will take Brother Ryan. You can take C.S.
Good. I ain't want to take Ryan.
I don't know how to take that.
So let's go ahead and get right to it. What was I just thinking? Okay. So we was talking about it in the background, man, about tough individuals, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and pose the question that we posed in the back. A stud step on your feet and push you out the way, cuz how do you handle it?
See, Hess, you first.
No,
you, bro.
You did say you were going to handle C. Hess, but okay, let's go out of a subject. There you go. As a former bouncer, I will tell you it's not worth it. If it was a legit mistake, it's a crowded. I'm not gonna go crazy. I don't care if it is my New Jays. First of all, don't wear your New Jays to a crowded club in the beginning. That's just asking for something to break off. Number two, it's not worth it. I'm tired. I mean, come on. Men, Black men in particular, stop killing each other over nonsense. It's a pair of shoes. Now, if you're trying to disrespect me, that's different. But if it's an accident, I'm going to let it slide.
Okay, follow-up question. Question number 2. She is out of control at this point. How do you remove a stud from the club?
I introduced them to... it all depends on how they acting. But, like I said, as a former bouncer, I had to do that. I had dealing with a lot of VIP clients. You had to do that respectfully. But I tell you, the best bouncers clubs, if you want to take a fool out, you can do it discreetly. You'll be surprised. Even a drunk guy can listen to reason. And 99% of the time, I can talk down and de-escalate a situation. Going to our main topic, I can de-escalate a situation most of the time. Very few I had to put. Very few. It's bad for business. It's bad for everything. So very rarely I had to put my hands on. When I did, it was fun. But you can de-escalate the situation if you got some type of sense about you.
That being said, best one of your best bouncing stories shorthand.
Drunk white guy started getting liberal with the N-word. Start putting his hands on the waitresses. I walked up to him, told him he tried to describe my nationality in an unfavorable way. And I introduced his left and right butt cheek to my foot. And it was very, it was very satisfying for not only me, but the patrons, the wait staff, everybody. Respect people and you'll be given respect. If you don't, you may come across somebody like myself.
Okay. Indeed. Worst piece of advice that you can bring to your mind right now that you ever got from somebody?
Worst. Marry her. So no.
I can see that.
There you go.
Okay. Last question. You are running out of gas. You ran out of gas because do you stick to the roadway, which will take you 5 miles to get through? Or do you take the shortcut through the woods in the middle of the night? That's half the time that it would take you on that road.
Is your camera working? You do see I'm a black man. I'm staying on the road.
You staying on the road?
Why? Okay. Really? Give me an intelligent reason why a black man gonna get off the road, off the hot, and go through the woods.
It's a rural area because you're just trying to cut the time. But it's your choice.
Yeah,
that's why I posed the question.
My choice is to stay alive. My choice is not to come across the Klan. My choice, So yeah, I'm staying on that paved road.
I respect your choices. That's my 5, gentlemen.
All right, C. Hess, captain of the ship, the captain of the plane.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna take captain of the ship. I can swim. Hey, I ain't got no wings.
What do you think majority of the men gonna choose? Majority of the men. No child support or no taxes?
No child support.
Hey, but you gotta think, if you ain't gotta pay no taxes, bro, that's a hell of a come up too.
Notice taxes on child support.
Most jokers who ain't paying child support ain't paying no taxes. Anyway,
there's certain logic with that.
Okay. Yeah, you got a point. All right. I asked my brother this one time before. Natural disaster. Volcano erupting or Category 5 hurricane?
Listen, bro, I'm from Florida, right? Hey, you can seek shelter from a hurricane, right? You're running from that lava too tight. You know what I'm saying? I deal with that. Hey, I deal with that Category 5 all day long.
Hey, they had something when that volcano erupted over the summer where people out there taking pictures. They was like, you can see the lava just flowing. They was miles away, but hey, that shit looked crazy.
That was them folk doing that.
Yeah, that was them folk doing that. Them folk. All right. Harder to understand. A pure Latino not from this country or Jamaican? Full-blooded Jamaican.
Hey, the Latino not from this country. We can piece together that patois that them rude boys be speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, the Latinos, you just be pointing and smiling,
and nodding, right?
and nodding.
But give them 3 months.
Yeah.
Give them 3 months. They'll know
Yeah,
how to
you're
say
right.
Budweiser, Corona, Bank, F-150, Silverado.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
As long as they can say senorita and what you call them,
Cerveza.
yeah,
Cerveza.
and
All right.
yeah.
All right, small. See your last one. Any budget, give me a company you would start, a business you would start.
You know, I will probably start because like a lot of our neighborhoods are like food deserts. So I would probably start some type of grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Any type of budget, I start a grocery store, you know, on one of our side of towns.
I know Ryan will probably start a daycare at a strip club. But that was first call. That was first call.
That was first call, gentlemen.
Appreciate that.
I think
Okay.
First strike. That's good Lord.
Before we get to Tyree Nichols, man, because there's a lot of shit to cover on that. Did y'all also see, and you know, forgive me, good people, the young black woman who ordered a burger from McDonald's, they gave her the wrong burger. She asked for a refund. That McDonald's called the police on her, and this lady ends up getting punched in the face by the police behind a refund from McDonald's.
I ain't see that one.
Yeah, I ain't see that one.
No,
Bro.
that's new to me. Please educate me. Where was this at?
I want to say it was. Give me a quick second. Let me get.
No, yeah, just I'll find it. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm about
just
look.
police assault McDonald's. You should be able to pull it up.
Well, I know.
I'll give y'all a
that,
minute.
you know, y'all saw. I know y'all saw that lady that stole what they said, stole $1 million worth of chicken in Chicago.
She ain't steal no $1 million worth of chicken without nobody knowing, cuz.
Wait a second. How much chicken is $1 million worth of chicken? That's like 2 dozen eggs today. But chicken,
it's over a period of time.
Yeah, it's over a period of time. So basically, So she was ordered. She was supposed to be ordered. I guess the way they did it, like, you know, when COVID happened, the school system was still feeding the kids. I know they were doing it here in South Carolina, so that's how she was doing it, almost like a money laundering type shit.
Yeah, for $1 million worth of chicken.
That's what they said. $1 million worth of chicken. That's where the chicken shortage came from. She sold all the chicken. She had all the chicken.
School is serving
the blackest
chicken
crime I've ever heard of at the same time as. Oh my God!
But it was like, I think, of course, it was boneless chicken. They don't want to take no lawsuit for bone-in chicken when kids can choke on it. It was like boneless chicken.
That is there's details about that. I don't care. That's got to be over 20 years of chicken theft.
That's what I'm saying. You can't move that much chicken unless somebody know. Somebody know.
Man,
they said they were going. They said they were going over the books.
Okay.
That is the most horrible black crime I've ever heard. That is like the Ku Klux Klan dream.
You said horrible black. Why gotta be a black crime?
Because then
because they're gonna make it a black crime as you eat from a Chick-fil-A.
I stopped subscribing to that type of shit because white folks eat chicken too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you spend a week with white folks, they gonna order chicken at least as many times as you do.
Yeah, and listen,
Taco Bell was selling chicken.
It's the stupidest racist. This is why racism is stupid. End of the day, I don't care. The most racist white person you could ever meet loves fried chicken, loves watermelon. Why are you acting like this is something? You know, that's why
I don't even eat watermelon. So
I do. I just don't.
It's all stupid shit.
People, but I eat.
I found the article. Y'all found the article?
Hey, yeah, I found it too, man. Now look, I just skimmed over it, but I guarantee you, if you read it somewhere in there, I guarantee you in there they said she resisted arrest. Guaranteed.
Oh no, that's why they punched her in the face.
Guaranteed, right?
That's why.
Um,
And this is kind of what was leading up to our conversation with Brother Nichols. But how is it that you can't see that it does? How did you end up punching somebody in the face for a cheeseburger?
well, okay. Look, bro, let's just get to it. So
yeah, okay, we've been
this
playing
is what we
around.
gotta-
Yeah, get
listen,
to
bro.
it.
This is what a lot of times what we gotta understand, right? Okay, let me say two things on this. Number one, just like in the case of Eric Garner, people don't understand a lot of times. Go read the laws in the state about what resisting arrest is. Resisting arrest oftentimes is anything that you do to prevent a lawful arrest, right? So if they turn up, put your hands behind your back, and you no, what do I do? That you just resisted, right? So I'm just saying we got to know the laws. Then the other thing is you ask the question, how does argument over cheeseburger go to getting punched in the face several times? We got to deal with, there's an issue in this country that we got to deal with, and that's the culture of policing, right? We got to deal with the culture of policing. And if we don't ever fix the culture of policing, we're not going to fix anything dealing with policing. You got to fix the culture.
Absolutely. I cannot agree with you more. That's why certain factions are trying to spin this a certain way about it's not racist because it was black cops. No, it's the mentality, the culture, that quote unquote police warrior mentality that gets ingrained. It's part of their culture. I mean the police and white culture, that this is what's expected of them, to be heavy-handed, to be enforcers, read out, to send out this quote unquote street justice for any little thing or to anyone that doesn't look like them or doesn't meet the cultural standard. Because I can guarantee you those same officers would not have done the same thing to a white man.
So see, this is something else though. This is what we got to kind of be careful, man. And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't notice until I actually got into it, right? So the only thing we ever see is black people getting beat by the police and blacks getting shot by the police and all of this, right? But I'm telling y'all, like in my county, jokers don't discriminate, right?
Right.
The problem is the media, they don't show that. They never show it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is because a lot of stuff that we see on the news is to continue or perpetuate the stereotype that we're criminal. You feel what I'm saying? So
Right.
12 to 13%.
No, that's absolute fact.
Right. So 12 to 13% of the population can't be committing all the crimes, right?
For certain.
Can't be disproportionately affected by everything negative in this country. We 12 to 13% of the population. So part of that is the media continually perpetuating that myth, right? And we fall for it, man, every single time, hook, line, and sinker. Right. So we got to hold the media on it. Real talk, bro. We got to hold the media accountable. Right. So, and I don't mean to keep going, but like when Shakedown Al and Ben Crump, even though I love him, right, when they keep showing up to these funerals, right, when they showing up, what they need to start doing is using a platform to speak directly to the media and tell the media, hey man, y'all need to report the truth.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's fair.
Absolutely.
Now,
but
what I say,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I say is, nobody ever said that white folks wasn't getting killed. But like you said, it's definitely the focus of the media to perpetuate a certain message at this point. Like, it's not by accident. There is no good reason for it at this point. You doing it to drive the divisiveness.
That's a fact.
I don't understand, again, how inhumane that some of this it is. You know what I'm saying? There was the gentleman in fucking California on Huntington Beach, a double amputee that supposedly stabbed somebody. The cops get there. He does have a knife. But this man don't have no legs. He jumps out of a wheelchair and runs on nubs. Now it's funny because the visual is funny at first. But then they shoot this man in the back because he got a knife. I think we have to remove the fear excuse. They should no longer be able to say it. If you're scared, get a motherfucking dog. They always try to say when cops are running in first. Well, we also have cases of cops not running at all. And we got more than one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
in school shootings.
That's
Come on,
what
you
I'm
can't
saying.
save the kids, you can't save anybody.
So look,
Thank-
okay, talk about the school shootings. Go look this up. Go look up, like in the case of like these school shootings, go look up and see what you find. Do police officers have a duty to intervene and save a life? Go look it up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro, look it up. Right? But on the flip side of that, what we saw in the case of Tyree Nichols, there is a duty when it comes down to someone or a police officer using excessive force, right? They have a duty. If all four of us, or let's say all four of us on the situation, right? And three of us beating the hell out of this dude, right? So Carolina Dirt, let's just say you there, somebody got a duty to intervene, bro. That's law. You got to stop it, right? So that's part of what's going to get them in trouble. And it's the same thing with George Floyd. You had 4 police officers, 1, 2, 3, I think it was like 3 or 4 of them that was there. When dude had his knee on his neck, right? They took a perfectly good arrest because the arrest was good. And they turned it sideways because somebody didn't say, hey, man, bro, come on, bro, that's enough. You got his knee on his neck, man. Come on, let's go. Right?
There was witnesses sitting around there saying it's enough, and recording it. Only reason why this happened. Only reason why it got the attention and it broke off.
The other thing I like, because the cops say it all the time, like when they're talking to these kids and other people, they say, well, if you're a real friend, you'll stop your friend from getting in that car. You'll stop your friend from selling drugs. But when they see their partner or their buddy committing a crime after, like you said, if the arrest is good, if the initial arrest is good, but then your partner go and start beating this dude down, why can't you stop your buddy? It's the same logic to me, isn't it?
It is the same logic. But you know
Hey,
what, bro?
I can tell you this like I said, as a former bouncer, there's plenty of situations, 99% of the time, that if a respectable club, a respectable establishment that do things, the last thing you want to do is beat up your patrons for any reason. And anything respectable, they know not to do it. I would train guys. I'll be like, listen, don't, 99% of the time, you can talk them down. If they're drunk, if they're crazy, whatever, you can de-escalate the situation. If dudes working at clubs can do this, why can't, quote unquote, trained police officers come in there and control the situation? Again, you got to make an arrest. It could be scary. One of your commenters just they used to say, I was in fear of my life. None of these people were in fear of their lives. They had the situation under control. They were trying to measure out justice. They're trying to get their rocks off, beat them up. What's the one police officer, the one white officer in that situation said, like, oh, if I was there, I'd have beat his ass too. One guy was saying that his foot hurt from kicking him in the head. They stood him up and punched him. Come on, that's not policing. That's not policing.
But bro, there's more to this.
I don't care. You say something about my mama coming inward, make me chase and run around all. You grab them, you hold them, you get them under control, you throw them in jail. That's it. They get off, these police officers get off on their abuse of power. It's just the quote unquote warrior mentality and say, they get so amped up and they got to beat the crap out of people. I'm trying to make jokes about it. It ain't a joke. I don't care if you got a small dick, whatever the problem is, you got to get off on abusing the power. Because the situation was handled. The arrest was done. The situation handled. They're just getting off on getting off.
But you know what, man?
And that's the future.
But see, here's the thing, man, because this is what I don't want to do. This is just me personally. This is just me.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes what we see, man, is stuff like this, right? We see every time these jokes, like I know here in Jacksonville, like, you always see like the officers in JSO, like in the jail, or wherever, they body slamming the joke or whatever. But what they'll show you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that's doing all this crazy stuff, but they don't ever show you the positive stuff that the one, and I hate to use this term, man, that the police officers that are doing the right thing, they rarely show you that. Just like there was a guy, I think he was in Arkansas. It might have been Little Rock, but he was one that is the white officer that always went and always around the kid and double dutching, and he's always around him, right? They made him stop doing that for some reason. You know what I'm talking about? So
yeah,
they don't show, bro, the good that mugs do, right? And it's just like one of my agencies that I used to work for. Bro, I won, and I ain't tooting my own horn, but I'm gonna show y'all something. I won Big Brothers Big Sisters Mentor of the Year for 2018, 2019, right?
That's awesome. Shit.
Look, my agency, not a word, not a peep, nothing. Right? I went to Montgomery, Alabama one time. I'm a runner, so I did a race for kids with disabilities, right? Nothing. Went to Memphis, did a race for St. Jude's. Nothing from my agency whatsoever. Nothing. So what I'm saying, bro, is that the news and the media, they'll show you all this crazy stuff, but the officers out there just doing their job every single day in the community, they never show you that.
I'm gonna raise my hand because I want to comment on that. Yeah, because what do you say? Sex sells, violence sells, negative sells. Are there?
Got to keep the NRA in business.
Are there black people that are criminals and the worst of society and thugs and will kill somebody and will cook? Absolutely. Are there not? Are there racist white cops? Yes. Are there women that are Karens? Yes. Are there Jews that are cheap? Yes. There's always a stereotype got built on something, but that's not the majority. And that's when you talk about the culture.
It's culture, yeah.
Yeah, you only look for the negative. And the police today in America only look for the negative. There's always something negative that is there, but that's not the overwhelming majority. And like you said about positive, that doesn't sell. That's why they don't talk about it. And the people in the community don't look for it. They don't look for the good. There are good police officers. There are good white black people. I got my homeboy right now. He's been texting me, white dude, skateboarding, long hair and everything else. I was just drinking with him earlier today. He's listening to this show right now, talking about him and his kid. Coolest dude you ever want to meet. Would be there if somebody you see a black guy getting beat down, would stand up and do something. But there's nobody ever going to talk to him. And I hear what you're saying, C-Hess, but how do you break the chain of the mentality of people?
I think
who's looking for these motivated minds that you have?
But I think C-Hess got a point. As much as they promote the chaos that the cops do, they do need to promote the good that the cops do. They do need to record the footage. Or there's a couple of black dudes I've seen on TikTok that's recording the good stuff they see in the community, the interaction between the cops and the community. The bad part about it is the news just has so much power because of social media that that's all you're going to see, and you're not going to see the good stuff that is on TikTok with the cops doing good stuff. It's not promoted, and since we don't see it being promoted, we're not going to go look for it. There are too many bad cops because the bad cops got more power,
Right.
Because they got the media pushing the bad shit.
There was a dude in New York last year. I remember, cop had like 3 New York cop. He got an award for something because 3 guys was coming at him and he refused to take out his gun. He held them back because he's like, even as bad as this situation, I was outnumbered and stuff. I didn't want to take somebody life, and he got commended for that. That's a police officer. And if I saw that situation, I'd help that police officer.
There are plenty of videos where the community has stepped in to assist officers. I've seen those videos too.
Yeah.
My thing
if
is,
police officers become part of the community, it's like, I don't know if y'all ever watched The Wire, but they was talking about that. It's like when we start getting numbers and had to make busts to make numbers and get everything else, we stop policing. They need to walk the beat. They need to be part of the community. They need to know, hey, that's little Tyrone that lives over here with his mom and dad over here. I'm going to watch after him. I didn't want to say Johnny, and I just had a brain fart. I couldn't say it. I just came up with Tyrone. But if they're part of the community will be, they respect them.
This is what I would want to see as far as there's a mayor in Ithaca, New York. I don't know his name, but there's a mayor in Ithaca, New York that decided he would give psych evaluations to anybody that applied for law enforcement jobs in Ithaca, New York. So they went from a 93% rate of acceptance down to like a 75%.
Yeah.
And with those 75%, they have not had an incident of police violence, brutality, assault, questionable tactics ever since they instituted that program. So I know people that still want to be police. I know young kids that grow up and say, I wouldn't mind being a law enforcement officer.
For police.
If you
not the way they're now.
But if you institute it across the country, if you make that a federal mandate, so how much of this shit stops?
You can't do it because anytime you talk about changing anything as a tax, when they say defund the police, it wasn't about take their money and so they can't live. It's about, no, you don't need a tank to go through the neighborhood.
That's it.
You don't need cops going on mental illness. If you got a kid that's mentally ill, he don't need a police officer coming to you. He needs a psychologist coming to him. That's where the defunding police comes from. But once he said that, all the cop unions went crazy. Like, how dare you take all the status quo? People with money were saying, no, don't ever do that because they want to keep the status quo.
But bro, y'all hitting on a lot.
Black and brown, keep them down.
Y'all give me information. Y'all give me information overload over here because y'all hitting on a lot of stuff. So think about this for a minute though. Like, right? I know everybody was on the whole defund the police thing, right? But y'all gotta remember this. And a lot of people don't understand this, that a lot of agencies are underfunded as it is, right? If you honestly get involved, man, with some of these police agencies, you'll see. That's why a lot of agencies, depending on where they are, don't have body cams yet, right? Because they are underfunded.
I'm gonna let you get that. No, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you finish your point.
I know about cops not having enough funding,
bro. And then here's the other thing: if we want to defund the police, and hey, bro, I'm not defending police, but the first place is going to hurt is our neighborhoods, right? Yeah. Our neighborhoods. So then, hey, y'all talked about earlier, man, because y'all saying a lot of stuff, man. Check this out. Y'all said earlier about walking the beat like they used to do. Well, cops, citizens on patrol, right? So there are a lot of agencies that do what they call community-oriented policing, right?
Right.
And that's what
We have it
policing is
here in
supposed to
Rockville,
be,
South Carolina.
right? So what happened was Jokers got these cars and they got trapped in the cage. We call it the cage, right? Where they scared to get out and walk through the neighborhood. But that's what they're supposed to do, is walk
Right.
through the neighborhood. So there was a chief up, and I think it was Newark, New Jersey. And what he did was he made his officers get out and start walking through these neighborhoods, because that's what they actually supposed to do, right? They're supposed to know the people in the neighborhood. They're supposed to. And they've gotten away from that. You know what I'm saying? So we talk about changing the culture, bro. And I thought about this today. Like, so I was in the Army. And if you talk to any old veteran, right? Let's just say you go from Korean War to Vietnam, you talk to any of them old veterans, they'll tell you how much the Army done changed, right? And the Army changed. But how did they change it? Because they changed basic training, right? When I was a drill sergeant, I sat there and watched it. Basic training changed. But guess what? They changed the Army at the training level. It's how they do it. So if you telling me that big government, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, I don't want to talk about Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, right? Because it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. But
I don't care, man. I'm not in the military.
If they can change, bro, they change it at the level with the privates, the initial entry people. You see what I'm saying? And that's what they got to do with the recruits coming into these police academies and stuff. If you want to change the culture, you got to change it with the recruits.
So two
Come
things.
on, ain't gonna change, bro.
But who's gonna change those recruits? Old guard that's gonna like, you need to do it this way because I walked one day and one guy came at me. Now I need to kill him. I tell you this, you can look it up. You can look it up. It's a very famous quote from old school Andy Griffith show. Opie, who's making movies now. And his daughter is actually, for a white girl, very thick. You need to look up Bryce Dallas Howard. She's thick.
As a footnote.
My point is, he was a cop in Mayberry and everything, and he was telling Opie as a child, he's like, why doesn't he carry a gun? This is the chief of police. Why does he carry? And he went on this whole thing. I want people to respect me. I want people, when I tell them to do something, not because they fear me, because they respect me. So I don't carry a gun. It's a very popular clip, but it's old. This came out in what 1950 something, 60s.
But that's what I'm saying, Ryan. It doesn't.
That's what we need. If a cop came up to me in this neighborhood and like, listen, I'm here to, I respect that, and I'm telling you, as I lived it. You want to talk about crime, drugs, everything? I lived it. But if you come to me with respect, I will respect you. And I know plenty of people that will do the same in the community. They're not going to get you.
So two things. When you are a veteran of the military, you get 8 weeks of basic training, and depending on your tech school, anywhere from another 6 weeks to 2 years of training, depending on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
As an 18-year-old, your primary is 11 Bravo, infantryman killer, frontline killer. If you go over there and you kill an innocent civilian, you will get a war crime attached to you at 18 fucking years old. So that's the first thing. How is it that the police have more power than a combat veteran, or have more freedom?
You talking rules of engagement is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, all right. So let me see. Are you finished, bro? Because it's kind of
all for it. Okay. Hear it.
All right. Wait. The second point, and we'll go back to. I'll let you comment on that. But the second point is, we're not having the shootings in underfunded neighborhoods. Really, the police shootings are not necessarily happening in the. You can't tell me that the Chicago PD is underfunded. LAPD is not underfunded. NYPD is not underfunded. Right, you can't make me believe it.
Right? No, bro. You naming the big agencies. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just saying there are a lot of agencies, bro, that are truly underfunded. I can't tell you if I don't know.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, bro. So. Okay, so you talk about, and that's something I talk about all the time that you was talking about, like the rules of engagement, right? Okay, so this is the one thing that I just kind of personally learned, as far as like like policing, bro, you have to take every situation differently. And what we oftentimes try to do is we try to compare, okay, what happened in let's just say what happened in Charlotte, this shooting that happened in Charlotte, right? To this shooting that happened down in Miami, to this every situation is different. You see what I'm saying? Now, the problem is there are too many, oftentimes there's too many variables, right? And police get a lot of leeway. So I think that what they need to do is take away the qualified immunity. That's number one, right? I honestly, I firmly believe in that. And I ain't just saying for police officers either. Guess what? They need to take it away from lawyers and they need to take it away from judges too, right?
Absolutely.
They need to take away the qualified immunity. But when it comes down to some of these shootings, bro, I'm telling y'all, it happens all over the country, right? It happens in some of these more too. Y'all just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, where I'm at, they don't discriminate. I'm telling you, right?
Right.
I'm just saying, bro. But police, it's a little bit. It's too many variables, right? It's too many variables in there, and every situation is not always cut and dry. You see what I'm saying? So, and the other thing is, you talked about that whole I'm in fear for my life. Yep. So this is what I say about that. And you brought up like the military as a whole. So for me, if me as a soldier, I know I'm about to go to Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever, right? I know that I might not come home. You see what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things. Hey, I might die for my country. So I think the other thing is in policing, what you oftentimes hear is as long as you come home at the end of the day, right? As long as you come home. Well, to me, and this is just my personal opinion, a lot of these jokers, like one of y'all said, they want to be gladiators, and you see the Punisher symbol, right? The Punisher was a vigilante, right? So jokers need to have this mindset. Okay, you want to act like a soldier. Everybody want to act like a soldier, and like they going to war until it's time to go to war. Then you want to fall back on the whole I was in fear for my life. When I'm sitting in the desert, I can't go shoot up a mosque or hospital, right? Saying, I'm telling you, bro, they were shooting it up. You can't necessarily shoot back. And that's the problem with police. It's the mentality, right?
Right.
Jokers, hey, at the end of the day, I got to get rid of this. Well, I was in fear for my life. So I'm sorry, because you got a lot of scary jokers with badges. You know what I'm saying?
My point.
So
that don't make them
that
police.
mentality too. So to me, policing needs to be, when I say like the military, I'm saying the mindset, right? Is that this is my job. I might not come home at the end of the day. And I know some people think that, but guess what? I'm gonna do you before you do me because I'm coming home, right? But I know in the military, it ain't necessarily like, hey, just come to the territory. I'm in combat. I might not come home.
So and that's the mentality. And here's the thing: I'm glad you brought up that Punisher mentality. Look behind me. Clearly, I'm a comic book geek and everything else, and reading the Punisher. And the Punisher was all like, hey, listen, no, the difference between me and these wannabe warriors is I make sure every person I kill is 1,000% guilty. That was the thing about it. It's like, I didn't come up in there just shooting because they black or because they brown or because they fit a description. He did the research, made sure that something, anytime he killed anybody, it was it was no doubt they were
some form of justice
taken
that,
out. These
the
guys
system didn't provide.
I'm just saying that as a scene, most of these guys, they just, I'm like the Punisher, I got to get home. Dude, if you got that mentality, if you scared to go in the neighborhood, and I grew up in the worst neighborhood, one of the worst neighborhoods, Detroit in the 80s and 90s, I was told by my teachers that I was not expected to live past 18 when I was in the 4th grade.
What is that to hear? What is that for a kid to hear?
And I never, in my entire life, to this day, I've never owned a gun. I've never been arrested. I've never sold drugs. I've been the worst of the worst, and I did it and talked to people regularly and, and done everyday conversation, good, bad, and ugly, with no problems. And yet trained officers can't do it. Come on, get out of here. Get out of
So-
here. No.
I wanted to say, and it kind of, I know we jump all over the place, but I do
We are.
feel like the cops aren't able to get touched because I don't see them going out and killing the people in their community because they know they can be touched. They know where they live at. I don't see, if I'm living in a small subdivision and something happens, I really don't see me killing somebody in my subdivision, regardless of the situation, because they're in my community. So the cops are looking at it like, yeah, they can be touched. Like, as far as back in the day, we had the DARE program. You had cops showing up at the school. Cops are showing up at the school for events.
To remove students.
Well, no, for events back in the day when we were kids.
Yeah,
They were showing up for events. Now they're there for a sense of force.
Yeah.
That's a different feeling.
Right.
That's a different feeling. And I just wanted to put on this part, the other part of force is Tyree Nichols was 6'3", 6'4", $145. And it was 5 cops that they showed, the first 5 cops. All of them looked to be over 200 pounds.
Right around that mark.
There's no way you fear for your life with 4 other partners and this dude happened to shot one of y'all.
There you go. Thank you. End of
So,
story.
bro, can we say this, man? Can we look at them guys and say, bro, it was something wrong with them dudes? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
You know, and I seen the comment. I saw the comment about, you know, I seen it online. Everybody talking about over some woman. I don't believe that because I have not seen not one. If there's a such animal as a reputable news source report that, I don't think that's it, bro. Right? But there's more to this story. It's gotta be. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be.
No, that's
Well, I think it was something wrong.
really
It was something wrong with them dudes, bro. You know
no,
what I'm saying?
dude, okay. This is my, and I want to shut up because I want to hear other people talk. But I would tell you this. I got my podcast called The Bar is Open. I was just going around different beer festivals, bourbon festivals, everything, talking to people. That's how I met up with these 2 gentlemen. Anyway, I was at a festival in Fort Mill, South Carolina. I'm very good friends with the owner of the wine bar that put it on. It was a beer festival. It was good. We had a bunch of cops from the Fort Mill Police Department there. It was an easy day. Everybody was having a good time. Long story short, one cop thought I took a bottle. Now, at this time, I'm friends with everybody. I hear you. T-Smalls, I hear you, Tito. Took a bottle and he just had it out for me. You need to leave. You need to do this. And then I'm like, listen, the owner of the establishment, the guy who put everything on that was paying the cops for the overtime was like, listen, no, I know this guy. He's not a problem. Let him be. The cop had to get pulled away by other cops because I didn't respect his authority.
Yeah, he had a superior.
Because I didn't leave everything. That's a mentality that's in the culture of some of these, not all, but a lot of these police officers around the country. That's their mentality. Not all. I've said that. I recognize that.
Right. It's
enough where we need to reform how policing is done in America.
Okay,
I agree.
So when these things happen, we are always, again, everything hindsight 2020. After something already happened, we can pick that shit apart 100 ways to Sunday, right? But let's all right now be in a car and
that's a big car.
A motherfucker snatched you out of your car seat. You see the blue lights, but 9 times out of 10, how do police approach you? You get pulled over, they step to the window pretty slowly, and they ask you, what's going on, or why I stopped you. To just be snatched out of your fucking vehicle, and you to tell me don't resist like your natural fucking body posture is not to resist.
We've all had talks. I got 2 boys. You think I haven't told them? Cop pull you over, hands on the thing. Yes, sir. You know why? So they can get home
Doesn't
alive.
matter anymore, and that's the scary shit.
What? No, bro. It don't matter in this case, right? Because this is what I have a hard time understanding. I have a hard time understanding. They said he was reckless driving, right? Okay, now, and I'm working on a video about this. I can understand, like, we don't even know. The chief herself said they have not found any proof that he was driving recklessly, right? But then she said, well, that doesn't mean he didn't do it. But here's my thing: reckless driving, right, didn't deserve that. Now, I can understand if he driving reckless, right, and he might have ran Carolina dirt. I mean, he might have ran you off the road, right? Jaywalking third, he might have almost hit you, right? Okay, I can understand, bro, snatching him out the car. I got that.
Absolutely.
Right? Or
Absolutely.
if he tried to run over one of them and hit one of them, I got it, bro. That's what you call the habeas grabus is what happens. I can understand that. What I can't understand is this dude. I guess they pulled him over and they immediately snatched him out the car. Something's not adding up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, in this case, something is not adding up. And I know there's police officers out there that do that. Mr. Ryan, like you were saying, bro, that one police officer, he had a superiority complex, and a lot of them have a superiority complex, right? But I just think in this case, bro, it's got to be more stuff to come out. And I personally don't think it's about no female. I think who's that? Together We Break Change Production. They was beating that dude like it was personal, right?
Well, here's the thing.
That's not right.
Okay, fine. If it is it was personal, it's still a ridiculous crime.
How about
it's still a ridiculous crime? There's no in this particular case, there's no justification for what is done. I think the video evidence is proof. If you want to have on the macro, you want to talk about police form and change. I think that's the conversation we need to have now, because in the micro, in this one particular, be it personal or just a dude on a power trip, they're clearly guilty. Everybody, so we can all wash our hands of that. Macro, why are there so many cops like this?
And what else?
That's
I also
true.
want to put on what they do. And they said they gave that man like 70 commands in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They do that a lot. Yeah. But they and see, as you know, you can attest that they do that everywhere. Like if there's more than one cop, the command's not going to be the same. And I think that's unfair because it gives cues that maybe he's been smoking, maybe because his brain's not processing everything as fast as what's coming out.
Right. So what I've seen in a lot of cases, bro,
that's not fair.
You're right. You're right. And that's one thing that I was taught, bro. Like when you got a lot of jokers, on the scene, hey, everybody's got to shut up. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, that's information overload. You know what I mean? And then the other thing is, this probably gonna be another show, and I don't want to open up this can of worms. The whole stop resisting thing, right? That's something it's trained to give loud verbal commands, right? Stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting. So this is gonna be a whole nother show, bro. And I don't want to go down that road, but that's something that's trained, right? But with everybody hollering at you, you know what I'm saying? Stop resisting, get on the ground, blah, blah, blah. Half the time, bro, and there's a video that happened in either in North Carolina, New Jersey, where they were saying, get your hand off my gun, get your hand off my gun. If it had not been for that dash cam video, that dude would have did about 5 years. Because they lit him up. They didn't shoot him, they beat him up, bro. I'm just saying. So
that shows about gun mentality, because they knew they had dash cams, they knew they had cameras on there, they still didn't care. When you know the spotlight's on you and you still forget, the guy said, he went for my gun. He went for my gun. That's what's on camera. If you got a camera on you and you still wilding, you just wild.
Listen, you forget that them body. You forget about them cameras, bro. I'm telling you, you forget that they even there. So what happens? What you see is what's in people.
I've been gainfully employed for many years because I never forgot there's a camera on me,
bro. I'm just telling you. You forget.
There was a lot of girls that said, "Hey, meet me," but I know there's a camera. This reason why I'm still married. I do not forget there's a camera on me unless I'm trying to forget there's a camera on me. You know what I'm saying?
I guess they're fear for their life, so they forget.
Hey, can I ask y'all a question though? Because we was talking about
you are holding on to that bottle pretty hard, Carolina.
Huh?
Hey, we was talking about
holding on to that bottle.
Hey, we was talking about community policing earlier, right? So my
Go
question
ahead.
is, because the big news right now is the Scorpion unit. That's all we hear, the Scorpion unit, right? But my question is, they say it a lot. Does anybody know what that stood for though? Scorpion. It's an acronym.
All right. Okay.
Something about keeping the peace of our streets. I heard it. I don't know. I don't remember. It's a long ass acronym, but ultimately to keep the peace on our streets, so in our neighborhoods.
Right. Street crimes operations to restore peace in our neighborhoods. Right.
What?
So
they were really working to come up with that one.
No, hold on. Okay, that's just like it. Okay, so
together.
Do y'all remember Atlanta had the Red Dogs back in the day?
Yep.
Okay, you know what Red Dog stood for?
What's that?
Running every drug dealer out of Georgia. That's what Red Dog stood for. So my question is this: we talking about Memphis, right? And if you do the research, the Scorpion unit came with the sheriff, the female, right? Because she was in Durham before she was in Memphis. So my question was, a lot of people don't know why they even started that unit in the first place.
Right.
Educate me.
Okay, so they started a unit because in Memphis they saw an uptick in crime, right? And as I was doing some stuff, and I saw, man, there was a neighborhood where they had 6 murders in one neighborhood in about a 3-month period, right? 6 murders in one neighborhood. So she brought that with her to try to help get back the neighborhoods, because the people in Memphis, right, they had an issue with the crime. So they were supposed to be out there, and when you see units like that, what they do is they focus on high crime areas to help try to reduce crime in those areas. But what happened, as we saw, and what often happens, just like with the Red Dogs, you get a lot of them jokers in those units, they get over aggressive, overzealous, right? Now, and I'm gonna shut up after this. So sometimes I understand, me personally, sometimes, bro, when you're dealing with a certain criminal element, you got to deal with it in a certain way. And there's a way to deal with it, but still be professional. And the example that I give is this. Do you remember, like, when the mob in the 20s and 30s, right? They had to deal with them a certain way. NASCAR started with the bootleggers, right? And a lot of people don't know, them bootleggers had V8s, right? Yep. The police had V6s. So guess what they was doing? They was outrunning them, right? The mob days back then, the mob had Thompson submachine guns. The police showed up with revolvers. So I'm not justifying it. Only thing I'm saying is that sometimes, bro, we have to put these things into place. You have to deal with a certain element of crime a certain way, but yet and still there's a way to do it and still be professional without getting over aggressive with it.
Agreed. But these guys don't know the difference.
Some of them, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
unit, there was no need that he didn't have machine guns. This is not a situation that needed. And yet you're dealing with the mob. This Tyreek Nichols is not the mob.
I'm not speaking on him.
I hear you. And I agree with you, but this is not, the problem is this is never happening to the right people that it's supposed to be happening to. No one's crying. If a drug kingpin gets taken down like that, no one's crying. No one's getting upset. They're not drug pick. It's me going to 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee.
Right. And that's the thing. Why are so many
Scorpion team to take the guy going to 7-Eleven now, or to be giving out tickets? You don't need it. If they're doing that, the Scorpion team is wrong. You don't kill a fly with an elephant gun.
I agree with you, bro. What happened to him there is inexcusable. It's inexcusable. There is no.
So that's why we need to talk about why that mentality is so pervasive. There's a need for it when dealing with the mob. It's a need for it with military men in the military, but we not in the military. This is not Afghanistan. This is Jacksonville. This is
How
Georgia.
is it
This is
that you
American
are?
citizenship.
How is it that you are pulling me over for a safety violation? It's a traffic stop. How are you pulling me over on a safety violation
How you choking
and
me
it
out for a
ends up violent?
cigarette like the homeboy
Right,
in New
right.
York?
But that's the question, bro. But see, that's the question. That's the answer that we all waiting on. How in the world did quote unquote him driving recklessly result to that? How did that get there?
Because they wanted to bust them up.
But-
I think
Ryan.
They looking for a fight.
I think Ryan got a point because every cop want to be in that situation where they got to use their gun or they had to use their hands.
bro. You can't say every cop, bro.
Okay,
those
a lot of cops. Most cops. Okay, put it like this: all right, everybody think a pit bull is a bad dog, right? Everybody's thinking a pit bull is a bad dog because every time they see a pit bull, it's aggressive. So if you got these same cops only doing aggressive cases, when they come to a regular case, they don't know how to turn that shit off.
Yeah.
If you're going to give them a special assignment, that's where they need to be 100% of the time.
Right.
You shouldn't be mixing in with the public.
It was comedian Neil Britton talking about that, about like Ray Rice. We was talking about that a little earlier. And it's like, because from the beginning, his entire life, it was football. And then he like, oh, that's wife. I meant to football instead of deal with wife, because that's how he was trained, just like that pit bull. He's like, oh, instead of handling this, when you're trained to smack somebody upside the head, when you into a different situation, you're gonna hit somebody upside the head. Like, oh, I football. It's like, I'm gonna cop, police, warrior. Oh, I had a traffic jam. Oh. I did a traffic jam. I warriored and beat the guy to death.
But
right.
see, bro,
they don't have so many people are trained to make this mistake.
But what I don't want to do, bro, is what we doing, and I agree with some of what y'all saying. I don't want to agree. I don't want to group all these folks in one, because what you're saying is like this, bro. I did 21 years in the Army, right? 21, right? So what you're saying is that, okay, I was taught to kill, shoot them up, bang, bang, kill, right? But guess what? That's not my mentality. That was that mentality of those
that's
individuals.
not your mentality.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's not so what I'm saying is those 5, 6 might be 7 of them, right? But we saw 5 on camera, plus the white dude that tased him. That was their mentality, bro. What people don't realize is this: a lot of police officers go through an entire career and never have to pull their gun. But y'all don't hear about that.
I don't. From the 3 of us that's listening to you, none of us disagreed with you.
Right. This is what I'll say.
He froze.
No.
Okay.
I just kind of want to put perspective on it. We're all adults here. We're all blue collar motherfuckers or white collar motherfuckers, whatever we got to be in life to earn our money, right? Most of us understand the importance of the police.
Want them, need them.
But I can't say that every time I see a police, I should say, hey, man, and tell a joke real quick. Every police doesn't give me that. And I feel like instead of us trying to explain that we appreciate them, they should be trying to explain how they appreciate us.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you got a cop who gets trained, and he is not being held to the standard that an average, everyday Joe Blow motherfucker walking down the street is. You got cops that don't know the law. You talking about people don't know the law. You got cops that don't know the fucking law. So why isn't the onus on those cops? And I get it. There's good cops everywhere. We established that has been the rhetoric as long as it has been bad cops. But you do not look good when you in the same unit with a motherfucker who killed somebody for no reason, who kicked somebody in the face, who beat up a 115-pound girl. You do not look good standing next to him. It don't matter what you do.
No, you're right, bro. But you know, this is what you're hitting on. Guess what? When these politicians come around our churches, right? When they shaking hands and kissing babies and hugging necks and greasing the pastor palm, right? What we need to start, what you getting at, basically, bro, is accountability. They need to change the laws, right?
Well,
they
here's
need
the
to
thing:
change the laws.
if you're going to those churches where those places where those politicians are doing all that, then you need to look at yourself like, why am I here?
Well, right. But I'm just saying, bro,
if I saw my pastor getting his palms greased by a politician, I know I need to leave that church.
Right.
Right. But the only thing I'm getting at is, bro, at the end of the day, the laws have to change. Right? They have to change the laws. And like I said earlier, there's too many variables, right, when it comes to law enforcement. You see what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Too many. So take away that freaking qualified immunity, and you might see some of it stop. You might not, bro, because it's the mentality of some folks. You got some people that wear that badge that ain't never had no authority, right? So all of a sudden, bro, you know what I'm saying? They get that badge, and all of a sudden they super cop.
Yeah.
But how is it that person gets hired
in the police?
Okay.
It's like
listen,
short
bro.
dude complex. Yeah, I've seen many short dudes go crazy because they get shot and now give them a gun. But my point is that there's in the police force that we see and that has been proven for so many years in the community have that short man mentality, and they are taking it out on a disproportionate amount of Black and brown and women and minorities, and that needs to stop. And it stops a variety of different ways, from changing the laws to just having human decency. If you are a quote unquote good cop, if you see a bad cop, you stop the bad cop. George Floyd, you get up there and you tackle him down like he's down, he's handcuffed, get off his neck, and let's just put him in the jail, put him in the car and take him on. But they don't do that. They stand like you stand by the blue no matter what, even though you see a murder. That's what happened.
Have y'all ever heard of, or have y'all ever seen like police officers almost go to blows because one is doing something that's not right and there's another one stopping?
No, I have not seen that.
I have.
But not enough. Not enough.
I've seen it.
Well, it didn't happen with George Floyd.
But because, bro, you got to understand, you were dealing with those individuals, right? I'm just saying, man. Like, I want y'all to watch. They got this show on, I think it's on HBO Showtime, called Boys in Blue. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a documentary.
Okay.
Watch it. You got to watch it, man. It's because it's up close and it's personal, right? The high school coaches, they're all Minneapolis police officers, right? So they were there when that whole they weren't there, but they were in the same.
Yeah, they were dealing with it,
right? So I'm just saying, bro. So I'm just, it was the mentality of those around them. Watch that show, man. I mean, it's a documentary, right? It's really good. It gives you another perspective.
I think I feel, maybe correct me. Correct me. I think you're thinking that I'm in any way saying that all. I'm not saying all. I'm saying some.
Yeah, I got
you. The verbiage sometimes slips out all.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
I will be the first. My next door neighbor my literal next door neighbor is the chief of police of Fort Mill. We've had real old white dude. We had real conversations about what was going on through George Floyd, 2020. We couldn't talk to nobody else because the pandemic was going on. And we were just having real conversations about the police, about how he has to train his officers, about the incident I talked to you about. This is a white dude, had a pretty little white girl daughter doing, splits in the front yard. My boys was like looking up, like, stop looking.
Right, where you going?
And we're having conversations about this the whole time. So trust me, I am not anti-police. I am anti-bad police, but I'm anti-bad anything. We're not talking about the good. The
Bro,
good.
we all black men, and
we
we tired. Bro, I get it. We all black men. We tired of the bull crap.
Yeah.
CS, what do you think is more important? Well, I guess to everybody, because it seems like we all agreed on relationships between the community and the cops, or is it the accountability? What's more important?
I think it's man. Whew.
Yeah,
You can't have one without the other.
Tough.
You
Bro,
can't be in the community without accountability.
Right, but because bro, holding mugs accountable is important. It's crucial. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of think that with the community and dealing with the community comes accountability. You see what I'm saying? That's what I think. Because and that's the other thing, bro. I think when it comes down to the community and policing, I think another reason why things have not changed is because when stuff like this happened to Tyree Nichols, right? We get in an uproar, we get on our church shoes and start marching and heeing and hawing and singing hymns, and then after a while, it goes away. And nobody's talking about Tamir Rice. Nobody's talking about Breonna Taylor, right? Nobody's talking about it goes away, right? So
well, that's always give it 15 minutes, there'll be another tragedy.
Right, but what I'm getting at is, bro, we got to get on it and we got to stay on it. If we gonna say no justice, no peace, then guess what? If we ain't getting this justice, y'all ain't getting no peace.
And one more thing, and I've heard this, and I think it's a big factor as far as the community. We use the police as a weapon also, because there's stuff that we can figure out. Like we can have conversations with our neighbor, but we're not having them, and we're calling the police, which already throwing fuel on the fire. Because now the cops are coming out here and they're hearing the story. They realize the story is bullshit. Everybody's anger and emotions are getting filled up because they know it's a bullshit call. And now the cops are doing something they shouldn't be doing because
that's the problem with we've said about white people using the cops customer service.
Yeah.
And the same thing would so can you de-escalate the situation? Listen, it wasn't until some food came out, like in the times I was bouncing in Miami, because you said you was from Florida. Yeah, I was down there in South Florida too, Miami. And there were very few times we had to actually call a cop until somebody came in there with a gun, and then we had to do that. But 99% of the time, I was able to de-escalate the situation. A lot of people don't have that mentality. They use it as
stop calling the police for bullshit.
There was 4 black men talking in the backyard. I was scared. I called the cops.
You know how to stop that? Guess what? To stop that, bro, if they call the police and it's BS, they need to arrest that joker who called.
Agreed.
Well,
at least hit him with a fine. At least hit him with a fine.
For too often, it doesn't happen.
Okay. If you hit a motherfucker, guess what? Geese ain't get hit in the street. If you tell a motherfucker it'll cost them $500 for some bullshit, they'll stop.
All right, CS, real quick, and I don't mean to keep saying CS. I got one good eye, but nah. Other than if these cops are wrong, should the police union get fined? Or how they do?
The police union needs to be disbanded. That's the fucking problem.
So how do you? But how do you find? How do you? Who finds them other than the federal government?
If the cops are wrong, if the cops are wrong, and the citizens sue the city or whatever, should they get fined?
You mean the union
or whoever? So if I sue Columbia, South Carolina for $2 million, should it come out their money if they're wrong?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a good question. So this is why they should take away qualified immunity, because you can't sue the individual person. You can't do that.
But the cops can arrest everybody in the car for one gun, right?
Talking crazy.
Hold up. The cops can arrest everybody in the car for one gun, right?
If you
they can punish everybody in the car,
right,
for one gun,
right? So,
So why can't we punish the whole police union or
because of the qualified immunity?
But that's what I'm saying.
But he's talking about the union itself.
Right.
You talking about
I don't know whoever funds the police. Whoever funds the
we fund the police.
Thank you.
We do. But that's the thing. That's what everybody's mad about. Like We calling you to be a service to us.
I see what you're
So
saying.
you treat us like
Right.
shit.
So you saying should the police union be fined? Is what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to go on administrative leave and still get paid.
And it comes out of the city budget, and we still got 150 potholes.
Yeah, but then once it goes back to this case where they fire those people within 20 days. So which is it going to be? You going to fire them faster?
Yeah.
Or are you going to wait 2 years and keep them on the payroll?
So here's the question. See, bro, this is what we got to look at, honestly. So let me back up real quick. So I understand what you're saying about the police union, right? So you got a point with that one. That shouldn't come out of citizens' pockets. That shouldn't. And you absolutely right about that. So then here's the other thing. You talk about the 20 days, bro. 20 days. Okay, but see, this now here's where we have to take it on a case-by-case basis. I think that this case cut and dry, right? Now they did it. Now we got to be careful about when they investigate it too, right? But I think this one right here, that was pretty much cut and dry because there was no logical explanation to why they did what they did to him, right? True. But the next time it happens, because it's gonna happen again, we already know that, right?
Yeah, give it a week.
So so we're gonna have to take it on a case-by-case basis. So and the next time it happens, this is probably when we're gonna see that they go on administrative leave, right? And they sit behind the desk while they do the investigation. You see what I'm saying? But this one, bro, this one's cut and dry. Right. And I think the other thing with investigations, you have agencies that do the own internal. And a lot of people say police should not investigate themselves.
Not somebody you meet at the water cooler every day.
Right. The IA. And they got IA separate. But yes, you're right. So I know in Texas, some agencies, not all, but some, when they have like a police shooting or whatever it is, stuff like this, they'll have the Texas Rangers come in and do the investigation.
Walking Texas Rangers, Chuck Norris coming in, walking Texas Rangers coming in.
So
I'm okay with that.
And I think that's what needs. I think a lot of times that's what needs to happen.
Well, yes, yeah.
So you can't, and that's why it's so important, bro. When the federal government comes in, right? When the feds come in, because that's totally outside and that's totally biased. And that's another thing, man. I encourage everybody who's watching. I encourage all of y'all, bro. When y'all see these cases happen, go back when the FBI get involved. Go back and read their findings, right? Just like the Ferguson case with Mike Brown. How many people went back and read what the FBI found?
A whole bunch of misconduct.
Okay, so
you're
right. But what they found was they found misconduct. What they found two things, right? One, they found that he didn't have his hands up. That was one. They found that. The FBI, they found that. But the other thing that they found was that the police and the courts were in cahoots with each other. They found that, right? But the news didn't go back and report it. They didn't go back and say, hey, the citizens in Ferguson was right. And what people don't realize is...
the media has a seat, but what else? You got 30 minutes to talk on local news. You got 5-10 minutes to talk about social scene. You're going to hit the highlights, or you're going to talk about the feelings and what the findings of the thing. It's never going to happen. Agreed. You're right. It should be. But most people watching us live right now, stop talking about, they want to talk, hear me make dick jokes, but we got serious and they getting tired of it.
But it's
just what it is. We've been going for an hour, 18 minutes, and I've yet to make a drinking or dick joke.
I don't know, because if you rewind it, I think we found about 2 or 3. But this is what I'm going to say. This is a conversation that we can have. We probably could, if nobody had a job, we'd still be talking about this. We're going to go ahead and kind of table it for right now. I'm going to give each one of y'all a solo. You got up to 2 minutes, cuz. Say exactly how you feel about the subject. We're going to tie this into the last call. So I'm going to go ahead and go with you first, Ryan.
No, I want to see has to go. He's been talking. I like what he's saying.
Okay.
It's yes and no and everything else, but I want to see yes to go. I like that. Let's
He
listen.
just
Go
want to
ahead and put
contradict what you say, see here. That's all that shit is.
nah. Go ahead and put CS up and give him his spill.
All right, man. So listen, I see both sides of everything, or I try to. In this case, there is no both sides. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. There's no logical explanation as to what happened to Tyree Nichols, right? But this is the one thing, bro. I just kind of want to encourage everybody to get in the books, whatever your state is, get in the penal code and start learning these laws, right? You have to. And that's what we mess up at, is the fact that we don't really know the laws, the do's and don'ts of what we can, what we can't do. And then the other thing, and is this: we want the laws to change. So we have to hold our politicians accountable, right? We have to. So when they come around and it comes election time, we as a people in our community, we have to start going to some of these campaign rallies and stuff like that, and we have to make our voice heard. And if they make all these promises that they can't keep, guess what? They out of there. If we're gonna say no justice, no peace, then that's what it needs to be. We can't get in an uproar when we see a shooting happen, or somebody get, have excessive force used on them, be mad and upset for 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden it go away. We got to stick to it, and we got to be consistent with it. So that's my spiel.
That's what's happening. So it's up to you, Ryan. Up the bar is open, man.
Yes. In a perfect society, if that could actually or would actually happen, I 100% agree with C-Hess. I hear his side, and I also try to see both sides or all the sides, because it's very rarely just one or two sides. I try to see all the sides of it, a situation. No defense on this one, so I'm just going to move on. We already know, do cops were wilding, they need to go to jail, or things need to happen to them and everything else. Do I believe that politics or community service is going to really fix the issues that we have? Well, they've been doing that for as long as I've been alive and longer, and it hasn't. It's gotten better, but it hasn't. I don't think this is the forum to get into everything that could actually fix society, but I will say this: on a personal level, if you see something that's wrong, I don't care if you're a cop, you're a politician, you're a janitor. If you see something that's wrong, do something about it. It comes as simple as personal responsibility. If something happened to my sons, my wife, my family, I'm going to do something about it. I want somebody to stand up against it. And we can only do that individually. So I'm looking at you and everybody else individually. If you see something wrong, do the right thing. It's all
That's
you
what's
can
up.
do at the end of the day.
Look, I mean, I'm definitely with that, Ryan. Go ahead, Carolina.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's like the cops say, no snitching, but then they don't want to snitch on each other. Relationships, empathy. Relationships and empathy. We need more empathy. We need more relationships, and I forgot accountability. The three things that I felt through this whole conversation that I felt were the strong points was empathy, relationships, and accountability. If you want the citizens to have that, you wearing the badge should have the same. That's the only way it's going to work. Because if you don't have empathy for us, we won't have empathy for you. And we need to be united. So empathy, accountability, and relationships. We need to have all three for this to work. It's sad that the citizens are killing each other, but if the cops are killing the citizens and the citizens, it's hard to walk out your door.
Bullshit.
Safety is a major concern for anybody and for everybody. So empathy, relationships, and accountability. Everybody should have it with or without the badge. with or without the fire hat, with or without the stethoscope. Damn, I got that shit out. Good thing. With or without, passing the bar exam, with or without the gavel, with or without the presidential seal. Everybody should have empathy. We need relationships and accountability.
Everybody has raised fair points, man, and this is what I like about what we got going on here at the bottom of the bottle. Yes, we are in here getting toasted, but the conversation is a real conversation. Respect to everybody's opinion, because nobody had a bad opinion. Everybody ultimately saw the same thing with Brother Tyree Nichols, which was some bullshit. They lynched that man. They should go to jail for a long ass fucking time. There's nothing that's gonna come out that's gonna justify what the fuck they did to that man. And eat a dick. I hope y'all motherfuckers choke on it. Now, that being said, everybody deserves to go home at night. Cops, kids, black, old, mentally handicapped, mentally challenged, the blind. We've seen a lot of persecution, and it is just some human shit. If you pull me over because I got a tail light out, I appreciate you for letting me know that. But if you pull me over for a tail light to find some cocaine, come on, girl. That's some bullshit. So again, it is about personal accountability. We know fundamentally what the police is supposed to be about. We need to hold the cops, police, law enforcement all together to a higher standard. It is going to be done judicially. It is going to be done through the system. And unfortunately, that's what we have to work with. C has said it. Hold these politicians accountable, these superintendents of schools, the sheriff's department, these people that we put into office need to do the right thing. This is the Bottom of the Bottle podcast. I'm Jay Walker III, up top Carolina Dirt 803, Brian of the Bars Open podcast, C-Heads of the Motivated Minds. Check those brothers out, man. They got a lot of content, man. If you're a liquor connoisseur, Ryan got what you need, amongst other opinions in all things women.
I don't know I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm happy to make it.
C-Heads, again, you see the type of commentary this brother has. He's got a lot of different perspectives on a lot of the things that we see in the world. Check him out, Motivated Minds with a Z, right?
S.
Oh, I'm sorry, Motivated Minds with an S. You see,
it's spelled correctly. Why
in the
you
background?
It's not a barbershop.
I can't see, brother. So, again, we thank y'all for tuning in. We want y'all to like, share, subscribe. We want y'all to join the conversation, man. And outside of that, man, until the next time, we go, man. Y'all be easy.